Hello? Hi. I'm Brad. Um, what's up? Um, thanks everyone for all the birthday wishes. I've seen a lot of them. Dude, these balloons are actually making my voice reverb. That's weird. Um, hi. Hi everyone. It was the balloons. It was actually the balloons making my voice do the thing. It was weird. Very cool. Right? Oh, wait. No. Wait. It was the balloons, right? I think it was the balloons. All right. Very cool. Hey, everyone. Welcome to my monthly... Okay. First of all, I cannot do the helium voice. Those are not helium balloons. I have heard that we are running out of helium, but that is not the reason why I didn't do helium. I got air. I got air out of my mouth that's free, so I'm gonna, yeah, I don't have helium. Anyway, really, an echo? Where is the echo coming from? One moment. I don't know why there's an echo. Is it still echoing now? I don't know what's causing an echo. You don't hear an echo. You guys are making me feel crazy again already. No echo? All right. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Welcome everyone. That was weird. So I want to kind of talk, we'll do like the simple Q&A stuff. My content schedule has been as always pretty sporadic. Let me put away my party hat. But I am pretty happy with where things are going right now. I'm sure a lot of people, if you talk to a lot of other VR focused creators right now, they're also feeling excited for the next few months. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And I think it's just like it always kind of is like that this time of year, right? Like it seems like everyone's just like quiet most of the year, then like the end of the year it's always just bam, new stuff, new hardware, new software here and there. It's an exciting time, and I think it starts this month. But just to wrap up my like last month of content, I did like a news video, a couple of them. We talked about Qualcomm. It was really funny. I did a video talking about how I was told by a pretty reliable source that Qualcomm's is tweaking the XR2, which is the chip that's in all the major VR headsets. And the way they're doing it, I basically explained in the video, is they normally stack the RAM on top of the actual CPU, SoC, which, you know, gives more heating to the entire thing. And one way that they're trying to have a new generation of that is by actually splitting it up, or allowing vendors to split that up to get more performance, because you can cool the entire chip and RAM separately and better. Apparently Metacambria, or Quest Pro as we can now pretty much confidently call it that, is going to be doing this configuration. It was really funny because right after I made that video, Hugo Swart, who is the president of Qualcomm, followed me on Twitter, like literally right after I, like maybe a few hours after I posted that video. So that was pretty funny, I guess. Yeah, there was also some other content. Nofio, thanks again for all the birthday wishes, by the way. So Nofio, I did a video on that. I was really happy with that video, by the way. I think there were a few things that I didn't go over in the video that but for the most part, based on what I saw from comments and like questions about the product, it seemed like I covered most of the big things that I really did want to cover in that products video. And they did announce today that the Kickstarter for Nofio, if you are interested in it, it is going to be live on September 5th. So I believe that's next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. Anyway, and they said that the first 100 backers will have a chance to get it for $350 instead of the standard $400. So yeah, I do daily drive the Index. Will I be putting money down on Nofio? Probably not. And I kind of said that in my video too. I thought it was a pretty good experience for a prototype. I was shocked. I didn't say this in the video, but I was also pretty shocked that their prototype thing on the actual strap was using it was not 3D printed. They already were testing their injection molds, even though it wasn't a final product. And that's usually a pretty good sign, to be honest, when you see a company already doing expensive injection molding for not even a finalized product. That usually means it's pretty safe to believe that they're going to actually release a final product. They got the funding to do those kind of things. So yeah, you signed up for it? Yeah. But yeah, I think the video is really good, and I think it's that video will be a very good indication of where my channel is going to be the next few months. I've been focusing a lot, even though I've not been posting a lot of videos. I've been focusing a lot on preparing the channel to do some very special things on the hardware review side of things. There's a lot of headsets coming out. A lot of headsets are being delivered to me soon. And if they're not being delivered to me, I will buy headsets myself and review them in a very special way, because my goal is to I really want to review VR hardware in a way that's not being done before. And some of the ideas, like this is just like an example. Like this is such a weird thing to do, but I think it might be kind of useful. Is this is a screen luminance meter, and I will be able to put this up to headsets to see how many nits or candelas per meter square are reaching the eyeballs. And it's kind of important because a lot of I decided to get a tool like this to do hardware reviews because I noticed that some Pancake headsets I've tried, their displays did not match Pancake lenses. Like either the actual like the nits being delivered to the eye were too low, but I couldn't quantify that with a number. I could just only feel that, wow, this is very dim. Like it's not a bright, clear image. So I really wanted to do stuff like this, like buy certain tools. I got like a fancy temperature gauge to see how hot headsets will get on the face, because since we are putting components closer to our face with Pancake lenses and stuff, it'll be interesting to see how good they get with the cooling dissipation on these different cooling setups, because I think active cooling with like multiple fans and things are going to be notable and should be noted in hardware reviews. So a lot of cool stuff I'm working on in the background to make hardware reviews very interesting this quarter. So have I heard of the ETI controllers? Yes, I have heard of them. I know they've had a lot of delays, just like every other company, the past couple years. That's another kind of thing is just to start off the bat of like rumors and stuff related to supply and like where things are being made and stuff. I don't have much to say about ETI, sorry, but they're interesting. But I heard something today. So Lighthouse base stations, I don't know if you know this, but they're pretty much all the 2.0 base stations. They're all up until now have been manufactured by Valve. Even HTC, I believe, would purchase the Lighthouse base stations from Valve, and all of those base stations were assembled, like fully assembled. Not all the components, obviously, but put together in America. Most base stations, you look in the back of them, they'll say assembled in USA. But I was told today that that they're transitioning. They seem to be transitioning to completely assemble the Lighthouse base stations in China. and they're using the company Foxlink, which is the same company that manufactures the Index controllers. And it's very interesting that they might be completely transitioning out of their US factories. It might be related to the fact that I believe the factories that Valve uses in the USA they were purchased. I think they were acquired by another company. So I don't know if that caused issues, or maybe they just want to transition to a more whatever. But yeah, that seems to be something that's happening, even though I've been asking around, seeing if anyone has any Lighthouse base stations they recently ordered that say assembled in China. So far I've not seen that. So yeah. All right. Brad, do you ever worry about eye health when using VR? Not really. I don't. There probably is something about that should be a slight concern, but for the most part, I think it's to the. I think we're still like. I don't think it's like a huge concern, to be honest. The one thing I do wonder is like blue light. I've always heard that blue light. I haven't done enough research on it. I'm not worried right now, but I do think there will be something to look into later on in the like long term. But I don't think it's that big of an issue right now with the very simple hardware we have. Honestly. My theory is the screen door effect does the smoothing for you. Right. Do you think Pico will be more used than the Quest in the Western world? No. Okay, so let me get my opinions on Pico, because as you all know, Pico's coming out huge, like really, really big. Very serious competition, honestly. Are they going to kill Meta's market share? No, I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think they're gonna like even with a competitive product that's targeting the Quest 2 competitive range, I don't think they're going to eat up all the market share from Meta. I do think they're going to take some market share, but I don't think it's gonna be like exaggerated right away. And I kind of see this in like a lot of the like I talk to people about the software side of things, not the games. Pico's actually paying a lot of developers to port their Quest games over to Pico, and they're also spending a lot of money on like Gamescom. Pico had a humongous booth at Gamescom. Like they're doing all the right marketing things and getting like their game platforms together, but they still have a long way to go before they match up software quality wise with Meta. And that's pretty funny I say that, because I even think Meta's software is a little awful. But I do think that Pico is going to do very well for what they're going to be trying to do. I think they're going to do a good job, honestly. It's just I feel like when the first headsets come out, which I've been told that they're going to announce their new headsets for worldwide release, but it might not be all at once worldwide release. Apparently September 15th is the date they're planning to do that. And I have a feeling when reviewers start getting these things, and I know reviewers are starting to talk to Pico to get these headsets for early review, I imagine most of it's going to be complaining about the software experience. Like, that's my prediction. I think it's going to be a little crunchy at the beginning, and you know, they're new to it. They have a lot of funding now because ByteDance bought them, but they're still kind of using a lot of the same stuff that so Gortek used to own Pico, which Gortek is the company that builds all of these Quest 2s and like a lot of headsets. Even PSVR2, I think they do the final assembly for. They even build PS5s, I believe. And they're still using a lot of technologies and R&D that they did while at Gortek to build the product. Now they have to focus on the software side of things, and that's why I think that's going to take some time to catch up. So, yeah. Oh wow, maybe finally cheaper base stations. I don't know about that. But I do think that there's going to be a lot easier stock. We've actually not had much issues getting. There was like a 2-year period where it was impossible to buy base station 2.0s. They were always out of stock, and like no matter where you were, and it was a mess. It hasn't been like that for almost 2 months now, so that's kind of interesting to note. But It's just interesting. If this is true, if Valve is really dedicating letting Foxlink build all of their base stations now, it makes me wonder like what I mean, obviously cheaper to do than assembling in US, but maybe there's other reasons why they're doing that. So Brad, if you could have any other anticipated but unreleased headsets for your birthday, which would you choose? Probably the well, I would take any prototype Valve headset. But it sounds like Apple's like really getting close, to be honest, and I know people have been hearing that for years, but like the Apple headset does seem like it's very close. And like, you know, you hear internal talks even at Meta and Zuckerberg where they're kind of like they're even at the point where internally at Meta they're like, okay, Apple's coming out soon. This is how we're going to compete with it or whatever. This is our way of dealing with it. So it's like that headset's gonna be so expensive, guys, but it's gonna be a really good product, hardware wise. I tried opening up my Lighthouse and looking inside, but there's just darkness. What? All right, I need a. Oh, hi, Geekoden. Hello. I know. I don't know if you noticed, but Virtual Desktop now has a section, I think in the alpha or something, the streamer on your PC that clearly hints that Virtual Desktop will have a version on Pico headsets, so wireless PSVR. Thanks to our friend in chat here. Oh, it's live now? Oh, sick. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, if you ever think about whenever Pico announces and releases the new headsets, which seem to be pretty cool hardware-wise, Virtual Desktop will probably be ready. Very, very good stuff. Again, thanks for all the birthday wishes. Pico 4 sounds almost too good to be true. In what way? I'm curious. Like, what way? I don't know if you... I mean, I know I pay attention to this, like, maybe too much. But every other day, a Chinese company is announcing a new headset. Mostly for the Chinese domestic market, because they're not big companies. They're not companies that have the funding and marketing and power to release worldwide. But tons of headsets are releasing with LCD displays and pancake lenses right now in China. And it's just a lot of the same stuff that Pico wants to release, but Pico's doing it on a bigger scale because they have the TikTok money. And really, I've been saying this for a while. I think the fact that TikTok is such a big platform, especially for the age group that would probably be interested in buying a VR headset. I think the marketing on TikTok alone is going to be insanely powerful for Pico when it comes out. There's going to be constant Pico ads on Western TikTok videos or whatever. So, yeah. Wait, Apple finally gave in to WebXR. Apparently they hired someone related to WebXR. I didn't really follow it. I think there were some for a while strings in Safari on the different Apple platforms related to WebXR. They just weren't fully fleshed out. I think WebXR is like a much easier standard for a company like Apple to want to implement than, unfortunately, OpenXR, which they have seemed to have no interest in implementing, which is I guess a shame. But I hear OpenXR also has its own little issues in a way, so maybe it's not as big of a deal as I was once thinking. I don't want to go too much into OpenXR stuff. It's good that we have OpenXR and like it's a thing, but like it seems like as more companies join OpenXR, it becomes more of a political issue, sort of like a group of politics of like, we need to implement this now first. This is what we should be focusing on, and you know, companies disagree, and it's like a and then, like, you know, OpenXR requires engines like Unity and Unreal to get a really good implementation. So it seems like it's not a mess, but it seems like it's slow on that front. Even though companies like Meta are forcing people to use OpenXR. So, yeah. More Chinese people in this world than Americans? Yeah. Well, I don't think that's why they... I mean, I do think the Asian audiences are more... surprisingly more likely to adopt metaverse stuff than Western audiences. I don't really want to go too much into that, but I do think the Chinese domestic hardware market for VR is growing really fast, like extremely fast. And Pico is going to also do very well there in China too, which is, you know, Meta can't even sell headsets in China, by the way, if you didn't know that. So Meta can't sell in Germany or in China, and Pico will be able to sell in both of those locations. Where has Gabe and I been duped? Oh. Any news on the next XR3 chip? No. It sounds like the XR3 chip is not a thing for a while. I did say earlier, like, there's like a tweaked XR2, and that seems to be what we're getting for a while, is what I'm understanding. Unless there's just information I don't know, which is... Oh, thank you, Suji, for the money. Thank you so much. Birthday money. Thank you. Yeah. Deckard when? Okay, let's do it this way. How about we go through my Twitter, because I always tweet stuff. I like to tweet things. There was an update. All right, let me first talk about this thing here. This is kind of funny. I know I reported this in a news video, but just to recap, there was some new job listings added to the Valve job listing website, and they were focused on supply chain management and supply chain logistics. And the funny thing we noted about it when it was added was you needed 1 year of experience using QuickBooks and SteamVR stats, which was... I don't know what the heck SteamVR stats are, but apparently they want 1 year of using it, both these. And I reported it in a video, and right after that, Valve was like, well, let's remove the SteamVR reference. Let's remove the SteamVR reference. Haha. Joke's on you, Brad. And then I reported that they removed it in a video. And then I think last week or this week, they put it back. They put it back. I don't know if like there was a git error that, but yeah, I don't know. Very funny. Very funny stuff. Thank you for the money, Dr. Geek and Golden Spoon. I'll be able to buy a cake and get sick from the milk in the cake. Thank you, everyone. Wow, look at all the money. Steam Deck just came in today. I'm setting it up. I hope you have a good time. The Steam Deck's really great. It's also very successful. The Steam Deck is like a successful product, it seems to be. I'm very curious, especially they're releasing the Steam Deck now in like the more like especially Japan. Japan is big on handheld gaming. I'm so excited to see all the Japanese reviewers and their opinion on this handheld and how well it grows in that location. But yeah. Wow, thank you, more money. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, there was a SteamVR beta update this week, but it was obviously not enough to make a whole video about. There was not that much. There was more strings related to allowing VR headsets to set themselves as HDR10 compatible or HDR 10-bit. So that is like definitely something that Valve thinks is happening. It doesn't necessarily have to be for whatever they're doing, even though I do imagine whatever headset they're working on probably does have 10-bit HDR. But any headset will be able to say that they are HDR10 compatible in SteamVR. And there was just also some other stuff here that I don't think are that notable, but yeah. Do you think that Apple developing both the OS and hardware will give them a significant competitive advantage? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think that's what Valve wants to do too. I think that's the main reason why Valve is doing SteamOS. there's a lot of benefits for companies to build their own operating system and like their hardware that like that's definitely a thing. Um, yeah, all I can say is yeah. There's so many benefits, and not even that. Like I think Apple's biggest, even more than just the software and hardware, they're building their own chips too, like their own custom silicon, which is probably the biggest thing that will keep them ahead of the market for a long time. When it comes to standalone power. And yeah, companies like Meta and everyone else, they have to rely on Qualcomm. And if Qualcomm is not interested in making new updated designs for the XR as much because it's maybe not profitable yet or whatever reasons, yeah, that's gonna put companies like Meta behind more than anything. Like Meta's got, you know, they're using Android, but they're doing pretty okay for what they're using. You know, they do a lot of interesting stuff with their OS, but not on the scale like Apple does. Like it's crazy how custom tailored they are with everything. Thanks again, all these Dr. Geek, Rin, Golden Spoon, James St. John, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I wanted to gift you a SteamVR game, but the dollar is now more expensive. Oh my god. What the flip? You can't send Euro gifts to US users anymore? What? That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway. Do you think Sony is crazy enough to make their headset only work with the Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Let me find the tweet. Let's talk about PSVR2 a little bit. I made a tweet last week that, it wasn't that big of a deal in my opinion, but some people were not happy with the tweet that I made. This one. So, I now have a reliable source that can tell people, or tell me, pretty much whatever I want to know about the PSVR2 experience. And I got to see a picture of the documentation that comes with the headset and the pamphlet. I should say dev kit. And I was able to see, written directly by Sony, the weight of the headset, which was 630 grams. And some people got kind of upset because they're like, well, Sony said it's gonna be lighter than PSVR 1, and you know, they're linking some marketing posts from some random marketing Sony person. And I think people get very confused about, maybe it was my fault posting this. I shouldn't have really did comparisons, but I want to really strike home again one more time that weight of a headset is not purely based on the actual number of the grams and the weight and stuff. Balance is probably the biggest thing. Now, I will say that PSVR 2, because of the fact they're using Fresnel lenses, the displays are going to be farther away from your eyes. Yeah, that's going to be very similar experience to like the Index in terms of balancing, maybe. But yeah, and yeah, the Quest 2 is lighter, but they have a crappy strap and it's all front heavy, and this is the this is the perfect way to say it. The Quest 2 is probably the standard Quest 2 with the regular strap and just the heavy front is probably the least comfortable headset of these three, even though it's 503 grams. And when Pancake headsets come out, some of the Pancake headsets might be around these weights. To be honest, they might be around here still, but you have to realize it's about the center of gravity, it's about the balance. So I shouldn't have posted this like comparison because it's a little misleading, but yeah, it waits for reviews for headsets because it's all about balancing. And I know PSVR 2's design for the strap and everything will probably be very comfortable, even like especially compared to Quest 2 standard. So Richard Meller 10, thank you. I'm glad you guys like my content. I wish I'm gonna be posting a lot more soon, a lot more. It might be a point where I might be doing 2 to 3 videos a week instead of 1, which is crazy. But yeah, it's been very quiet. It's always quiet during the summer for all VR content, and yeah. Hi Baker. I believe Qualcomm will be competing against AMD for the mobile VR space soon. Let's talk about AMD a little bit then. Yes, I do agree with this, to be honest. I do think AMD, they might not be purposely trying to target XR, but I think thanks to companies like Valve, who are clearly interested in using x86 SoCs to, yeah, you know, they're trying to hack in a SoC from AMD, probably in a future headset one day. I think it's the writing's on the wall. I think most people agree, even journalists that were skeptical before, they all agree that that's going to happen someday. And so so these are the new processors that were announced a few days ago, and they're cheaper. Well, they're cheaper than the last generation, but I don't really care about the price or anything. I'm just using this as an example. These are built on 5 nanometer, first gen 5 nanometer. Previous chips, like even the chip in Van Gogh chip inside of Steam Deck is on 7 nanometer. The M1 chips inside of like the iPad and stuff, they're all built on 5 nanometer as well. So they're all very similar performance per watt, even though they're different architectures. There's a lot of similarities of performance per watt because they're on the same TSMC node. And they were showing off, I don't have the slide here, they were showing off how if they were running at a lower TDP, a watt rating for these chips, they get like almost 50% more performance, I think the chart said. And there are rumors, or not rumors, there are roadmaps leaked by Moore's Law is Dead, which is a very reliable source for a lot of these silicon leaks, that AMD is planning to release at least at the beginning of late 2023, a chip called Little Phoenix. So it's rumored right now that there's a mobile SoC for low-end I should say thin and light laptops called Phoenix. It gets about like 35 watts TDP, and it's going to be very performant chip for laptops, right? Little Phoenix is going to be the successor, basically the successor from AMD of the Van Gogh chip in Steam Deck. It's targeting like a 15 watt TDP, and it's going to have, apparently it's going to have Zen 4 and RDNA 3 on board, built in SoC. So those are big. That's gonna be a big difference over Van Gogh, for example. And it does seem like a chip that they could pack into a VR headset if they really wanted to do so. So, yeah. So I do think AMD is going to get into the XR market, whether or not that their big plan was to target XR devices. But I do think there's a huge want from these companies, these XR companies, to have better chips. And they're going to be looking for whoever will give it to them. Maybe even NVIDIA one day will release a high-powered ARM chip for a company that wants to use it. I heard a rumor, but I wasn't able to substantiate the rumor, but I did hear a rumor that Meta was making some sort of deal with NVIDIA. But again, this is very early rumor stuff. I don't even know what it's for. I don't know any of the details of it. My guess it was related to cloud gaming, but yeah. Yes. You just spend 150 to 200 bucks to make the Quest 2 comfortable. Yeah, and like every person I see on YouTube that uses a Quest 2 in their content, no one's using the default strap. They're using like usually like expensive upgraded straps. The interesting thing about Quest Pro or Meta Cambria is it seems like the strap that comes with Quest Pro is very unibody. It doesn't seem like you can disconnect it. Which is, I imagine it's, well, I've been told it's a very comfortable experience, the Quest Pro, so, but yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a way to upgrade the strap or change out the strap. It seems like they're not building an ecosystem for that. The more VR SoCs, the merrier. Yeah, I mean, every company wants powerful chips in XR. Oh, another thing. There was some news I didn't get to make a video about, but I really want to talk about it. So, OLED micro displays are built on these. This is a silicon wafer. This is a 12-inch one. Kind of would be what probably most companies would want to build on, because you can fit more larger displays on a wafer, right? There was a news release, and not really covered by many XR journalist websites. So we know for a while that LG is very serious about mass producing OLED on silicon, or OLED micro displays, or Micro-OLED displays. There's a lot of names for it. The thing is with LG is they don't have a fab to make these, to make the wafers and the chips that the OLED will be deposited on. So apparently, and this was reported by ET News, a Korea IT news website, that they are in almost the last final stage talks to make a deal with SK Hynix. SK Hynix will supply all of these, purely focused on so LG can deposit OLED and sell OLED micro displays to vendors. That is a very big commitment, by the way, guys. It's really interesting because SK Hynix, they mostly only do they're mostly known for RAM chips, like DDR RAM chips. So this would be a new sector for even SK Hynix to be dedicating to themselves wafer production for. That's very interesting, guys. I really cannot stress how interesting that is. It would be a totally new market for them. And yeah, it just seems like things are ramping up really fast for the display side of things. So are they what? The AMD, if you're talking about the AMD chips I was talking about earlier, those are all 5nm. But OLED micro displays are not even like, maybe the smallest node that they're gonna build them on is maybe 28nm, and I don't even know if they're gonna need that. You don't need the tiny nodes for the OLED displays at all. They don't need that much at all. So that makes them cheaper too. At least the wafer's cheaper, because you know these 3nm, 5nm, 7nm, those are all super expensive. How bright does the LG display get? I don't know, because they've only been showing prototypes, and they're very, like, they've shown off apparently that they get like 7K nits out of a triple white OLED stack. But yeah, we're gonna see how well that goes. I know every company, even Samsung, are also getting serious about OLED on silicon. And Samsung literally said that they want to focus on whatever displays they make by 2024. They have to be 10,000 nits at 3,000 ppi. Like Samsung said that themselves, that or it's been reported that Samsung is targeting that. So that 10,000 number I've said a lot on this channel is something that these companies are pursuing. And it makes sense, because pancake lenses are inefficient and you need low duty cycle. And if any company releases a display that doesn't provide the amount of nits to the eye correctly, my reviews will know, because I have a luminance meter that can measure it. For example, I tested, I did some preliminary, I need to also 3D print a mold so I can block out the outside light from the headset. I can just slot this little thing in there. But the valve index seems to get 140 nits to the eye if you have it on 160% brightness, and you want at least 100 nits to the eye. It seems to be the lowest target. So yeah, I'm getting serious. All right, thanks for all the birthday wishes again, everyone. Eti is currently accepting reviewers to receive early. Really? I am looking for a lot of hardware reviews. I'm also talking to another company about reviewing some gloves, but that is early stage talks. I also, real quick, it's perfect opportunity. Does that feel really bad? I want to take just like a quick minute to talk about this product that I was given for review. I never made a video on it, and I really have trouble wanting to make a video on it because I feel like I'm really bad at using this thing. This is like a mag tube, like one of those gun stocks, and I think I like watch videos on like how you're supposed to like position yourself to use it and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not getting it or something. I don't know. It's not a gun, it's just a gun stock. You just put your controllers on it and it helps you hold things steady, but yeah, I don't know. Does the Arpara headset the Arpara headset uses OLED on silicon? They are using a single stack white OLED from this company. They're literally taking off-the-shelf parts, by the way, to make their headsets, and they're not very good. They're not very good. So yeah, the peak brightness that the display that Arpara gets is this number right here. This number right here, which is not very high, and that's why every reviewer who has gotten Arpara, like I think MRTV did a review on it, it looks dim. And if I put this up there, it probably would be like maybe 30 nits to the eye. Maybe that's exaggerating, but it feels dim. It feels very dim. So. How much money is a luminous meter? I got it from AliExpress, maybe like 60 bucks or 70 bucks, I think. They're not expensive. I don't think they're expensive. And Brad is from Florida, probably has an arsenal of guns. No, I just have an arsenal of anime figurines. Well, I guess that doesn't stop some people. I know some people have also have both those things. I know people in VR chat, they're like Omega weebs and have like entire rooms full of anime merch, and then also like actual rifles and guns laid out as well. Some wild people, man. I love them. Oh yeah, I will also be on QTC. There's a lot of podcasts actually. So I usually do these podcasts once a month, Q&A, but I will be doing podcasts, sounds like almost weekly, called VR Crewcast. It'll be a lot of guys together, and I'll be there giving my, I guess, opinions on things. Wow, thank you, Ankit Devenya. I'm so sorry. Okay. Ankit Devenya Bonya. I'm so sorry if I messed up that name, but that one. Thank you for birthday wishes. So when will we get new headsets? This month and next month. That was another thing. Meta or Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan podcast. I'm sure you've heard this news. This news was everywhere, but just to recap again, Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan and he confirmed that the Meta Cambria or Quest Pro is coming in October. I am so excited for whenever Meta Connect is, because I plan to have like a whole bingo board of like all of my final predictions and just compare it to what is announced. Like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun live stream. I'm so excited for it. Even if I don't think I'll get things wrong, but yeah, it'll be fun. Is there any news about Pico Neo 4? Not really. I think I wrote. I pretty much wrote the expectations of what the hardware will be for Pico Neo 4. Somewhere here. One of these. It's probably so far down now. It's gonna be pretty good hardware, yeah. Any word if the latest story Half-Life 2 mod works with the VR mod? I don't understand your question. I know the Half-Life 2 VR game mod or whatever, Half-Life 2 VR, it comes out September 16, I think. It is free if you own Half-Life 2, and it's a very good experience. I recommend it to everyone. Like, it's a very good mod. The people put a lot of hard work into it, and it shows a lot. Yeah. Mark is gonna hate. I have a feeling that people at Meta. I am definitely on a block list at Meta for sure. Yes. I will not be getting a Meta Cambria for free. That is, is for certain. Which is why, if you like my hardware reviews, you should support me at bradsnells.com/Patreon. Because I don't get free hardware because of what crap I do all the time. Badge of honor. Crewcast sounds pretty awesome. True, virtual strangers. True. Did anybody switch Oculus account to Meta account yet? I did. It worked fine for me. I know some people had issues, but it worked pretty smoothly for me. I was able to disconnect my Facebook account. Yeah. Thank you for your noble sacrifice. Yes. Yes, it's you know, I like doing this though. It's worth it. I don't care how many I mean, this job, this channel is like probably the my content burns so many bridges, honestly. Yeah. It just, the nature of this content burns bridges and some opportunities just from that. But I still do sign NDAs, and I still, like, if people ask me not to share something, I will not, I will respect that. But obviously if I get whistleblowers telling me secrets, they usually want me to share some things, and I'm like, okay, I'll sacrifice this bridge to do it. I also do like the fact that, like, even though a lot of these hardware is going to be very expensive and I will have to bite the bullet to review it, it does make the hardware feel better to review. Yeah, it makes it feel a lot easier for me to imagine what I spend the money on this product. Even Nofio, Nofio was an example where I felt like they paid some money for me to fly down there, right? And that's all they paid for. And I got to try the product, and you know, they were gonna they're offering some things, but just from what I tried, it was like I was able, because I didn't get the product sent to me right away or anything, like, for free, I was able to imagine, like, would I spend $400 on this? And my answer in my brain was objectively probably not. Even though it was a good experience, just not worth the price for me. And I think that's great. Do you know when Bonelabs will come out? No, I do not. Whenever they say. Probably by the end of October, I would imagine, right? Maybe? I don't know. People always try to ask me questions about what stocks they should invest in, and I do not want to answer those. I am not a stock analyst person. I am a tech analyst that enjoys the hardware. And if there's a company that I like that's on the stock market, that's because I just like the technologies they're working on, and I see value in it. Still firmly on Team Deckard till the very end. Till the very end. Oh god, I hate you people. You people and your Deckard when questions. I have gotten to the point where I don't really. I should tell you that Lawrence. This is not a big thing. First of all, this is not a big thing at all. Not a big thing. Not a big thing at all. So Lawrence Yang, he's one of the Valve employees. He's like the kind of the public figurehead for the Steam Deck project, right? He went on an interview this past week, kind of talking about the Steam Deck and like what he did. Like, cool, good interview, pretty good interview. And then one of the people asking him questions, they're not VR fans, but they were asking if he heard, like, the interviewers were like, I thought I heard something about a new VR headset from you guys or whatever. Is that a thing that happened or whatever? And this Lawrence Yang gave a really good big smile. It's like, we haven't announced anything yet, and it was funny. It was funny. The expression he gave, the reaction to that question was good. But The one thing you have to realize is like Valve would probably love to get a new headset out as soon as they can, but we don't know when. They know when, maybe, but I don't hold my breath and like expect things. I just report on the strings and the updates and what I believe in, and just wait for Valve to do the rest because it's all in their hands. Have you tried running VR off deck? Yes. Some people have been pretty successful. For the most part. The software clearly is not tailored for it. There's still a lot of messes in just the SteamVR version of Linux in general. But it really is crazy how much they're clearly working on a big SteamVR change. This was another news that came out, which was reported on a little bit. This was a pamphlet released by Valve, mostly to get the Japanese audience to understand who they are, what the Steam Deck is, why they're doing SteamOS, and of course they talked about how they plan to benefit all their products with the improvements they're doing with Steam Deck and SteamOS. And of course they've also said the advances improvements that we make to Steam on Deck also benefit Steam everywhere. The desktop version of Steam has already improved in many ways due to the work we've done on Steam Deck. And soon, the Steam Deck user interface will be available on PCs that are connected to a TV and in VR. And we've been saying that for a while, that like this is just confirmation of what probably I've been saying for 2 years now, that there is a big UI and interface change happening. I mean, I can just open up SteamVR and show you what my SteamVR looks like. But yeah. Do you think the Decker... I think... Okay, so here, let me put it this way. I think if Valve released a standalone headset, like that was fully standalone, not requiring a PC, or for you to buy a PC, I do think the target for them is to make a headset that could access a desktop like the Steam Deck does. I think the entire concept of Steam Deck, they want to transition that completely to a VR headset too, which makes a lot of sense, because I know right now Valve is focused on games, but it wouldn't surprise me if they want something to be more than just games one day. There's a lot of work to get to that point, but you have to think, like when you talk to people who are so involved in the XR industry, they don't see VR, AR, or whatever, it's just for games. They see it as something that can benefit all the sectors, like productivity and blah, 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 blah. I don't see why any company that's building headsets at the scale that even Valve is would not be interested in that in the long-term picture. So, but yeah, you know, this is literally, I've showed this many times, but it's the Steam Deck settings. It literally is the Steam Deck settings. It's very nice of them to let us mess with those settings, by the way. I think it's very cool. Do you think that PSVR2 will work on PC now? That PlayStation PC launcher was found in data mines. I don't know. I know people have tried to plug in a PSVR2 headset to a PC and nothing happened. That's all I can say. I don't really have much expectations though right now for them to let you use the hardware with PC. I really don't have that hopium or copium. Do I think some PSVR2 titles will make their way to PC? Yeah, I do think so. I'm just not sure about the hardware. I think that's a much harder pill to swallow. Do I think Half-Life Alyx will come to PSVR2? I don't think so either. I know some people also think that that's happening, but I'm not very confident about that. But I don't know anything about that. Of course, I don't really... Any news on Valve's Project Goliath that you covered a year ago? First shipment batch is in August. Is it wait, is it really this August or next August? That was next August. I gotta double check that. There's no new news. The last news we had was they were not going to use the index anymore. They were not going to use the Valve index because they wanted a headset with built-in eye tracking. because it saves a lot of headache for their system. So they partnered with Vario with the Aero. So every Goliath system that's shipping is going to be coming with the Vario Aero. Yeah, not really much news other than that I can think of right now. I know OpenBCI is still working hard on the project. They still think it's a very important project for them, and I'm sure that Valve, or at least Gabe Newell, still wants that stuff to be done in some capacity, just not with the index because of the reasons I've stated before. I keep thinking that SteamVR windows on your PC. Yeah. I don't know. I just wish I could mess with this further. Is there any other cool things? I mean, I already shown the standalone system layer, which just in case you don't know, if you turn this on now, all this does is it doesn't let you open this menu anymore. Like the entire everything just doesn't work. And my belief is the reason why is I have a aching suspicion that when you turn this on like a headset with the SoC built in and stuff, or like a whatever chip, that the idea is it would have its own system, so you wouldn't need these old legacy SteamVR menu system. And then there's Prism that still does not work. We do not know what Prism is at all. Any updates on Neos? Nope. Don't think so. How do you access these settings? I can give you a... Okay, you know what? Hold on. Let me see if it's easy for me to show you how to access those. If you want to do these menus, it's actually not that difficult. So you have to go to your Steam settings. Program files. Steam... Where the frick is it? Hold on, I'm going very slow right now. Okay, yeah, program files, Steam. You go to config. And then you open up SteamVR.VR settings in like a text editor. And you can literally, you scroll down to dashboard. And if you, you can add a lot of these strings that you cannot access normally. You can turn this on. Allow in-headset controller pairing to true. This allows this. This is related to this menu. This menu right here, by the way, that you're seeing, this used to be called Decker DevTools. This controller pairing menu that is not publicly. It's not public facing, but you can activate it with a string. This used to be called Decker DevTools. They renamed it in a more recent patch, but allows you to actually choose which dongle, chip, or watchdog, watchman or whatever you compare it to a controller or tracker. Pretty useful. I think it's a useful setting. So yeah, that turns that on. You can also turn on the work in progress theater mode. That is no longer the Unity app, but is actually built in to SteamVR. And they also have their own settings for it now. So they're getting kind of close to fleshing it out, even though it's not done. But you can like turn the theater room brightness up and down and add reflections and stuff. But yeah, you can turn that on with this. Ignore this one, that's not important. That's not that important. Wait, what is this one? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. There should be more. Oh, SteamVR. Okay. And then I'll probably just publish this somewhere, maybe on my Sadly in Reality, if you want to activate those things. There's also show internal settings true, show internet settings true. Those are the ones that show system settings true. That allows you to activate all those things. I will put this somewhere more public facing if you want to mess with these things, because they're not that difficult to activate. Do you smoke weed? No, I have had lung issues in the past, so I do not smoke things. How is there still no NSFW channel? What is wrong with you heathens? Being able to replace a PC with a standalone VR headset with a docking system like that. Yeah, you know, I truly think so. Let me pull up Simula. If you forgot about this product. So Simula VR, it's a pretty interesting concept. It's a very expensive headset, but that's because they're not making them in huge volumes. So this is a headset that is actually already a Linux computer. They use an Intel NUC, and they basically slot it into the back of the head strap. I'm trying to find, I thought there was a video that shows that little thing. I guess I cannot find it, but in the back of the head strap, you can literally slot in a little NUC, and it lets you do x86, mostly focus on Office and like that kind of stuff. And I think that concept would make a lot of sense for like an upgrade to a VR headset that Valve would make. That was kind of always my opinion, is like if Valve released a headset, it would be able to do both this and normal PC VR, but that's again speculation, but some, yeah. At Brad, DevTools, is that inside tracking true photo? Are you talking about this? The inside out tracking thing? So the only thing that's related to inside out tracking, and I've been wanting to make a video about this, but I haven't been able to go about it correctly in my brain. So here there's strings to XR service cal, which is a calibration. There would be a date here. If you were able to go through this XR service calibration, it would literally just say the last date you did this. And basically, let me try to summarize this. There's a company that Valve is confirmed to be working with, or maybe is funding or whatever, and they're called Arcturus Industries. And the CEO of this company talks quite a lot on podcasts. And more recently, he talked about how they are building. So basically, one of the hardest things to make when you're making a VR headset is the algorithms and the tracking stuff for 60OF tracking. Like a lot of the Chinese headsets that are releasing have terrible tracking. Meta has very good tracking, for example. They're very good at it. Obviously, they're very, very good at it. All these other companies that don't have access to that, bad tracking. It seems like Valve is actually funding this company to build a cross-platform tracking algorithm that is camera-based for anyone to use it. It seems like Valve's going to use it first to show it off how good it is and how useful it is and whatever. But it sounds like, based on what the CEO of this company is saying, is it'll work on Android, Linux, Windows. It'll work on whatever platform they want. And that's very valuable. So it's very likely that this is related to that thing. Nice. Yeah, I'm working on figuring out how to make a video about this without like again, just look up it's all public interviews on YouTube. It's just weird to like focus on, like, Jeff Powers does a lot of podcasts with people on YouTube, and you can see some of the stuff he's talking about and how excited they are to be building this with Valve. Yeah. Sounds like an algorithm that fills in the blanks. Like, I think it seems like it'll just be something good. And apparently, this is the other cool thing about this, is apparently the hardware they're using to do this is just the index. They're using the cameras in the index to prototype this for the most part. And they already have it working, which is very impressive. It's like, It's very interesting, honestly. Yeah. It would be pretty interesting if you could beta test the camera tracking software that they're working on with your indexes at home. That would be very interesting, right? Because it seems like they're already doing that internally. Yeah. It would benefit the entire hardware market because I know this is what they're making it work on Linux, Android, and Windows for a reason, right? Because they want it to be adopted more and hardware to all be on the equal level when it comes to tracking. Because even Valve knows that people are not going to be adopting Lighthouse very often. It's too expensive for adoption. Things have changed quite a bit. Maybe Valve will still want to do Lighthouse. I still think they do. But yeah. This is good for the camera-based stuff that's constantly popping out, especially with mixed reality coming out in a big way. What is the company called? It's called Arcturus Industries. I'll just post the website if you're interested. Yeah. I just bought Valve Index. What should I play? Half-Life Alyx. For sure. You should play my maps. I made some custom maps in Half-Life Alyx called Mind Break and Crash Course. There's so much custom content for Alyx. Beat Saber? Beat Saber you can play on anything. Alright. Was there any code found related to updated index controllers? I can't remember any. I cannot find... I don't think I've found any SteamVR code related to that I can remember in my brain. I think there was some stuff... gosh. I think there was some stuff leaked in a Source 2 update related to Citadel, which is apparently Valve's next game, that had something about controllers, finger tracking and stuff, but I don't think it was any different than what we have in OpenVR. There was one thing, I just can't remember it. There was one tiny thing that was related to fingers that was kind of new, but I really cannot remember it. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this, I guess. Vive Tracker 3.0 or Tundra Tracker? I like my Tundra Trackers a lot. I would stand by Tundra Tracker a lot more. They're very good. It was related, I think it might have been related to finger splay, but I don't want to say it was definitely that. It was a new string that like people thought when they first saw it, it was something that was already built into OpenVR API, but then they noticed it was actually a different string that is new. So thanks everyone. The increased prevalence of inside-out tracking is bad for social VR as it makes for full-body tracking harder. That is kind of true. But think of it this way: if Valve is working on a system, or at least planning on releasing a system that's camera-based tracking, but it works for SteamVR, and they have a whole menu that makes pairing controllers and trackers easier if you're using Lighthouse. Seems like they're kind of also making a built-in system to pair the tracking systems together, right? Like that's the way I see it. Yeah, so you could do both if you wanted to, because Lighthouse isn't really going anywhere, I think, because there is still reasons why you might want to use Lighthouse. There, like until those reasons are gone, I don't think Lighthouse are just gonna disappear. So it's like how people use the HP Reverb G2 with camera tracking, but then they use index controllers and everything with Lighthouses, and you have to install the space calibrator. I think Valve would probably want to do something like that, but built in. IPD range for Quest Pro? I don't know the actual range. Sorry. I don't know. It's probably very similar to most headsets. What happened to the hip trackers? Which hip trackers? Like the Deca Move thing? I think Deca Gear went out of business. I don't think they exist anymore. I think even I think people who got Deca Move, I don't even know if they can use it anymore. I think the software might not be downloadable anymore. I'm not sure how that. I don't remember how that works. Is there a way to suggest you new projects? I mean, I'm usually very picky on what kind of projects or videos I want to do, but the best way to do it is like if you show me something interesting, like post something interesting in my Discord, and I think it's like, oh, that's really cool, I want to do it. That's usually how I make videos. Usually. So. Lighthouse is mechanical, so it'll probably always be expensive. It will always be expensive, yes. Lighthouse will always be inherently pretty expensive, I think. Deca Move still works? Oh, okay. Oh, it's back up. Wait, is it actually back up? Deca... no. This is decagear.com. Anyway. Is there an... I don't know. Not sure. Alright, how long have we been streaming so far? 1 minute, 1 hour and 12 minutes? Let's just go through some of my, I think I've been doing pretty good over answering Q&A. I want to, like, look through everything and see if there's any news that I wanted to cover and didn't have time to cover. Let me just quickly look through it. I'm sure you guys heard the story about the new trademarks. Reality Pro, Reality 1, Reality Processor. The Reality Processor one is more interesting. I'm very curious what the reality processors would be referring to if they did something like that. Yeah. Was there news that I want to talk about? Oh, GPU prices are getting so cheap, guys. They are this month is gonna be insane for if you're looking for GPUs, or even if you want to build a new computer, because since there's like new CPUs coming out and stuff, but since all the new CPUs kind of require new, I guess at least from AMD, they require new motherboard and stuff, there'll still be cheaper last gen CPUs on the market, and motherboards probably going on huge discounts as everyone transitions to new stuff. So it might be really cheap to build a PC right now, like this end of this next few months, if you're interested in that. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, everyone, for birthday wishes. Drew. Rebranded M2 chip. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking it was probably a rebranded M2 chip. Or I was thinking like it's maybe that one chip that's supposed to communicate between the two chips. But that seems less impressive for branding, probably. Yeah, I don't think anyone would care about what that chip is called. Oh yeah, NVIDIA kind of mentioned VTubers in their earnings call, and also talking about how they want to bring their technology to new segments of the gaming market. They talk a lot about metaverse, blah 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 blah. NVIDIA is struggling right now because of all this, the climate of GPUs. They can't get rid of their GPUs and a lot of other stuff going on right now. So yeah. Here was a new headset announced for DJI's new drone, so you can pilot it first person view. It uses two 1080p Micro-OLED displays. Yes, Micro-OLED, but yeah, not much to say. It looks freaking cool though. I like the design of it. Very cyberpunk. Very cool. Co-processor handles something like tracking. Yeah, that, I mean, that would be interesting. Like, that seems, yeah. But, like, it's real. Yeah. VTubers are cringe. Oh yeah, I related to the dongle. I was told from my really good meta source that that dongle that's supposed to make Airlink easier. It's codenamed Ari. It is made with D-Link, but it'll be branded made from Meta. So they're putting Meta's confident enough to put their own name on this product. And they're basically, they told me that the big goal that they want to do with this PCVR focused dongle is they mostly want to start getting people into experimenting with cloud VR gaming. I still am so very skeptical of the quality that they can get out of it, but whatever. I guess they're going to be trying to shove it down people's throats soon, and we were seeing a lot of hints to that with Avalanche and like some leaked videos and people talking to me about them being able to hop onto an Avalanche alpha server and stuff. Ooh, we'll see. That Zuckerberg spider is cursed. I love it. It's beautiful. Without the new XR3 chip, Meta are charging way too much. Well, you know, it's kind of complicated. I think price is very complicated when it comes to Meta devices because they have literally prepped their entire user base, their current user base, that VR hardware is cheap. They kind of screwed themselves with a $300 project. They built their platform fast, and that was the main goal of their $300 project. But now on the hardware end, when people see a over $1,000, possibly $1,500 full kit product, they're only going to be thinking about. But the Quest 2 was $300. They kind of did that to themselves a bit. Could way to waste 100. Yeah, I wonder if it would be that much money. Yeah. People need to be thinking about headsets as laptops or high-end phones, and I think people are gonna be forced to very soon. I think that's why I'm really excited about the Apple headset. Is it's really going to change people's opinions on pricing for these devices more than anything. It would be a dream if in the span of 6 months, Cambria, Apple, and Valve high-end headsets all came out at once, because that would really restructure the brains a bit for consumers. Because honestly, like, you know, yeah, if it like the Cambria Meta, the Quest Pro or whatever, it sounds expensive, but to be fair to them, they are packing a lot of stuff into it. Way more stuff than the Quest 2, and the Quest 2 is just sold ridiculously at a loss. It's not even fair. The Apple HMD front-facing display, yeah, that's a weird concept. I don't have much to say about that. It's weird to me, but I don't know. Sometimes gimmicks sell things, I guess. Nobody wants to pay laptop money for a toy. Well, that's why they're trying to get out. That's why you don't hear about gaming when they talk about Quest Pro. They don't want people to see it's a toy, right? They want people to think it's a laptop or it can replace a laptop. I don't think it's going to be able to replace a laptop, to be honest, but there's a reason why they're marketing it like that. Or now they're not even, you know, the one thing I noticed about Joe Rogan show, I don't even think he talked much about the productivity stuff. Now he's like, oh, it's important for social connection. This is a social connection device. So like, I don't even know if they like. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna have some marketing reason why you should buy it, stamped out by Connect, but yeah, I think there is some difficulty in figuring out what spiel they're going to give to get the most people to buy it. Yeah, I think what Jeff Messer is saying is exactly true. There'll be gaming devices, there'll be product devices, there'll be whatever they want to call the device. You know. All right, I don't want to spend too long on a stream this time because I do want to have a birthday stuff to do. So let's spend like 10 more minutes and then we'll call it for today. I'm really thankful again for everyone stopping by and talking. It's always fun. I always love it. These are my favorite things to do, actually. I love these streams a lot. Do you think Apple will make their headset usable like a laptop? I don't know. I mean, they're packing like a laptop grade chip into it, so that's why I think they should do. Like I think if Meta is calling their headset a Chromebook for the face, I think Apple should be targeting a MacBook for the face. That's the way I see it. And apparently the displays that they're rumored to put in the Apple headset, yeah, I could actually imagine that it could replace a laptop. That's one of the things I think the Quest Pro really lacks, is the resolution we all hear for that headset just does not seem like it could genuinely replace a laptop visually. Whereas Apple doesn't have to worry about that, apparently, allegedly, or whatever. So we love these streams too. Thanks, everyone. So glad the industry is speeding up. Yes, me too. Me too. There is one thing I want to talk about just from like a personal content creator standpoint. I feel like this holiday season is going to be exactly the same as the Quest 2 holiday season for YouTube and content creation. I think there's gonna be a lot of new names popping up. There's gonna be a lot of advertising spending on YouTube and TikTok, and a lot of new creators are going to be able to come out of nowhere and have a voice, which is great in some ways, but it's always a little scary a little bit, because I remember when the new Quest 2 wave came out, there was a lot of creators that were at the beginning very destructive to my opinion. That's my opinion, but yeah, I think we're gonna have that again, where it's like when you went on the Quest 2 subreddit for like that first year, and like you can ask even the mods of that subreddit, they freaking hate that place because new people, they come in, they act like they know everything, and it's when they start getting a platform, it becomes a little bit of an issue. So anyway, what kind of impact do you think the Pico Link will have on the VR headset market? You mean like the Neo 3 Link? Well, the Neo 3 Link is pretty much being discontinued, I think. I think they're going to put all their focus on the Pico 4. But I think that will just be... I think Pico 4 will just be good for the market in general, because it gives an alternative. But also, it gives another market for developers to start thinking about cross-platform. Like, I want Pico... I think it's cool. This is actually the biggest thing. The biggest thing about Pico getting big in this market is because Meta cannot sell to users in China, Pico can. So any developer that wants to actually start making money from games, and hopefully higher quality games, please, will be able to port to Pico and maybe actually get that Chinese audience money as well. I just hope there's a lot more cross-platform developer stuff going on in this next year, which it seems to be, because there's PSVR2. Developers are so excited for PSVR2. Developers are excited about porting stuff to Pico. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a more healthy market in the next year. It might not be right away, but I think it will slowly get better. Thank you, Hearthhaven, for the $20. Thank you. Cambria plus smartphone connectivity. Actually, I did. There is kind of some stuff about that. There is some stuff about that. I remember. Look, I don't want to talk about it because I don't remember. I was talking to someone, another analyst, about this, of what they heard related to Meta Quest Pro, and like I can't remember the exact thing, but it was related to what you're saying there. Doing support in China is a nightmare, though. Oh, really? I guess that makes sense. How do you? Is it like, okay? Now I'm curious. What part about it is a nightmare? Like, I mean, I know translation would be the biggest hurdle for a lot of these things, but I'm not a developer, so I can't. I have no experience, especially with that. So I'm curious. Oh, no Discord. Gotcha. Right. Yeah. No. Okay. That makes sense. Well, you know what I've noticed though. So I actually do go on a lot of forums, like Korean forums and Chinese forums a lot. You kind of have to for this stuff. And a lot of those don't have their own connection or support agency, but they're very good at having at least one person that's able to communicate. It like they usually figure it out for themselves for a lot of things, like especially in both those countries I said. So I don't know. I know in China especially, there's a lot of VR podcasts and like stuff coming out, and they're not talking about Chinese domestic games, of course. They're talking about the big ones that come everywhere. So I don't know. I think the messaging, even the problem is obviously the developer won't have that direct connection, but I think a lot of those people find representatives that buy the firewall pass and communicate things over. But yeah, I know what you're saying, I think. Right, separate. Oh, okay, yeah. I see how that is a problem. Separate cloud infrastructure and stuff. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I guess if Pico wanted something like that to be built over to the domestic, I guess they would have to somehow fund that or help provide services for that. Very interesting. I never thought about these things. See, this is why I need to talk to people like you more, because I'm always very curious on that angle. Happy birthday. There was once talk about MetaQuest using mirrors for full eye tracking. I haven't heard anything about it. Yeah, I know there is patents about that. That was like a serious thing. And but I don't know. I'm not sure how good the computer vision could be for it. I'm very, that'll actually be one I need to write that down. One of the biggest things I will want to test out with the mixed reality stuff and headsets is how they react to mirrors, for sure. I think there is a whole video that could be made about that. How does it react? I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question, but it's something I'm definitely gonna test out right away, because I think there's something very interesting about that. Sorry I don't have an answer though. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Brad's mirror test? No, I think it's really an interesting question, honestly. Like, I have not seen any public video demos of mixed reality with a mirror in the room. I feel like that is a very important thing, right? I feel like that's important. How does the IR projector react to a mirror, too? Because you know they're using the IR projector to give better depth data for it. I'm curious. I'm very curious how that's gonna work. When's the Deckard recap? Oh, I got really slow on it. Yeah, sorry. I know I've been very slow with that. It will come out. I need to do that like right away. I think Deckard recap's so hard to do. The more I write for it, the more I'm like, oh god, should I really dedicate to it's so difficult. I can at least give this like timeline of all the strings we found and like all the connections I found, but it's very scary almost. Yeah, I do remember the leaked video about that. I don't know. I do think it's something I want. I do think. Oh, it's so interesting. It drives me my brain go wild. I don't want to assume things anymore. Your HoloLens has no issue with mirrors? Really? I don't know. I think mirrors could be very interesting for a lot of experiments if it works out well. In photogrammetry, it usually treats a mirror like a door to a room. Oh, I see. Okay. Huh. Very interesting. If you're gonna spend the money, well, because Apple's... well, I'm in a poor position because I probably will buy every headset that comes out from these big players to review them. See what makes them go tick. But if I was a regular consumer... that was a... like, okay, if I was a regular consumer enthusiast, Omega enthusiast person that, had a lot of money... which most prosumer VR people do, I think. I probably would have at least waited for the Apple headset to be announced whenever it is. I mean, everyone says it's so close. You don't have to buy Cambria day one, you know? It comes out late October, probably. Predictions for the next 12 months. Okay, Pico. Pico comes in. They do pretty well. They spend a lot of money on TikTok marketing, which makes them do very well. They start building a TikTok integration to Pico, so it makes it even easier to post VR-related TikToks, which just continues the process. Quest Pro comes out. It does okay. I don't really know. It's going to be all over the news. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be all over YouTube. But I don't think it's going to be a mass adoption event. I think people are not going to care about Cambria because of the software. That's how I feel about it. I think most people are going to be like, the software is just not there yet. Or it's not impressive enough for me to spend the hardware money. The controllers, if the rumor if the thing I was told about the controllers being separate, Quest Pro controllers being separate and compare with your Quest 2, if that comes out, I think that will be that'll be successful. I think people will upgrade their controllers. If they don't upgrade the Pico 4. Then PSVR 2 comes out. I think we are probably going to get a PSVR 2 focused showcase soon. I think we're going to get one very soon, like probably the next month or two. And I think PSVR 2 will be an absolute success. I really think it'll be a success for gaming. In fact, my mind on PSVR 2 is I think Meta might be rushing the cloud gaming stuff purely because they're a little concerned about the quality of content that's coming to PSVR 2 versus their headsets, Meta headsets. Okay, 12 months from now. I don't know. Other than that, a Valve maybe. I don't know. Happy birthday! You didn't want to take my money on when your appendix broke. So there you go. Thank you, Benjamin. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Thank you. My appendix did break. Apple is just gonna... Oh, did I not mention Apple? Apple's gonna literally change things. Like, I don't know how I didn't mention Apple in that spiel. Maybe because I just talked about it a minute ago. I thought I already concluded. But Apple's gonna be big for this industry. Even if it's... Even though the device is probably not gonna be mass adopted, just the Apple name tied to this industry is gonna be so big. And it's going to change people's minds on pricing and like what people might be willing to pay for in the future for the quality of hardware. Supply chains are going to be built purely for all these companies wanting to copy Apple. That's the biggest thing in my opinion. When Apple releases a headset with just a super fine, extremely high-end hardware, every other competitor company, Meta, Samsung, Google, whatever, they're all going to want to spend a lot of money to copy that device with very similar hardware. And that's going to be a big... That's bigger than anything else, in my opinion. Not even the Apple device itself, but them forcing competitors to want to improve fast. which will bring all the product costs down, by the way. Apple's gonna be so expensive because they're using like literal next-gen technology. And when the volumes go up for these technologies, it always makes it cheaper. I think Samsung expects by 2026 that micro displays will be like pretty much in every metaverse product for the most part. 2026 for low end, maybe? Would that make sense? I can see that. I can even see OLED micro displays being in like a Quest, low-end Quest product by 2026. I think that's not crazy. Yeah. Thank you for five monies. I think you said, yeah, Apple stores do only expect to... They're not building that many in their first year. Apple literally only expects to sell less, maybe 1 million in its first year of its headset, which is not a lot of volume. That is not a lot of volume for an Apple product. But that doesn't really matter. For the second generation products, there's a lot of talks in the supply chain, and a lot of the people I talk to too, they're all like, this is why I'm hearing about the Apple. Like, they're preparing for the second gen, and everyone's like, the second gen is when they're gonna really devote and expect higher volumes. Which is, they're targeting 2024 for second gen. But I still think first gen is still gonna be a very big thing for industry. I think everyone in the XR industry would probably agree with that. If Apple works with Steam, it's over. Rumors go about Apple and Valve working together. Yeah, this is still a thing. This is still a report that happened, and even though no one's commented on since, I made a whole video about a partnership, a possible partnership between the two companies to make an AR headset. And this was back when they thought, this is back when all these analysts thought AR meant this, and probably didn't realize it actually meant mixed reality. But I really do see a lot of parallels of what Apple's trying to do and what Valve wants to do. So, in my brain, it doesn't sound too crazy that there's some sort of partnership. I just don't know how far it goes. It used to be, again, it used to be crazy that I brought this up, but some people kind of are on my side now after looking into some things. So. Do you think a Deckard would cost more than 1K? So here's another thing I want to also bring up one more time. And I kind of brought this up last stream. Like, so apparently Ars Technica's sources said that there were multiple headset designs at Valve in the works. And in the concept stage, they actually diverged from each other. One of them was basically like an Index 2. And then one of them was like a standalone headset that uses camera-based tracking. And they were working with a third-party firm to get the tracking good. I'm not sure if those projects did stay diverged or if they became one. It's kind of interesting to think about. Like, would Valve release two different products? I personally have trouble thinking they would do something like that, but let's just say they did. Let's just say they did. If they did decide they're going to release two different products, one that's like clearly enthusiast focused, one that's like standalone or whatever. Clearly the Index 2 thing would be high end, and I think they would be very high end for that. I think that would be definitely over $1,000. I really just don't know. I really don't know. I should just say that. I don't know. But it's these are things that curse my brain all the time. So I don't even want to diverge too long. It is kind of interesting because clearly the Steam Deck is been very good for getting people into SteamOS, getting people into that, and developers as well. Steam Deck has been a huge success for getting developers to at least have their games work pretty well with Linux, or at least with Proton. Which has benefited Steam as a whole, because there's all these people buying a hardware, a handheld, higher quantities than they're buying PCs to play games, probably, at some point. Would they do the same for VR? I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing. They're very, very confusing. Anyway. If you had the money to get the Vario Aerial, would you wait? I would wait. Like, not even 8 months, but 6 months at max. I don't even think you'll have to wait that long. No offense against the Aero or anything, but I just feel like there's a lot of high-end hardware coming out. I don't know. All right. How does it feel being mentioned in almost every article about VR hardware? Terrifying. But good. I mean, that means I've done a pretty good job, I think. And I think when Meta Connect comes by and we live stream it together, if I get everything right, 90% of the things right that I've said, that I've been told, and I've reported on, I think I'll be very happy from this point forward. And I don't think I have to stress about things. I'm not really that, like, yeah. Because I do work hard on this stuff. It's a interesting venture I've taken upon myself, and I haven't been able to prove out everything. Like, there's been a lot of good things I've gotten right about, like, software updates before they release and stuff, but really, the focus is getting the hardware predictions correct and analyzing that and what comes out. And I think Meta Connect will be when I'll know everything. Yeah. All right, everyone. I think that I'm going to call it there. I actually went a little bit over than I said I would. So I want to again thank everyone so much for, gosh, I mean, what does this say here? Yeah, people donated so much money to me. Thank you. I got like $200. That's so nice, so kind from all of you. And really just thank you for being here and chatting with me. Yes, it's very, 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 I'm very happy. Thanks everyone. You're all really good. I don't know. I'm gonna eat pizza and cake. Lots of pizza and cake. And then I'll cry about existence and mortality. All right. Yep. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.